Alright, it's finally time for a part 2 covering some more 3DS ROM hacks and homebrew games. The 3DS is still one of the best handhelds to mod, and since I've modded mine back in 2022, it's easily become one of my favorites. So with modding and emulation being so accessible and really good on devices like the AYN Thor, it's never been a better time to dive into some custom content. So in this video, I'll be sharing with you 6 more 3DS ROM hacks, along with a few more homebrew games. If you like this video and want to see more content like this, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. Now without further ado, let's get right into it. The first hack we're going to look at today is Pokémon X and Y Disruption. This is a traditional and pretty straightforward hack for both games that adds a handful of quality of life changes and features, with some pretty major ones thrown in as well. First, every single evolutionary line is available to catch or breed, meaning you should be able to complete the entire Pokédex without trading, but the creator notes some species need to be bred. Also, all major battles, so rivals, gym leaders, etc., are now double battles. This only applies though if you download the doubles version of the hack, as there is a singles version available that removes the double battles. Personally, I'm sticking with the doubles version. It of course adds some increased difficulty as well, adjusted Pokemon stats and abilities, and a few more features that I think make the experience overall really solid. And the hack has a ton of documentation to go along with it, so I would definitely recommend giving it a try. I really enjoyed playing it so far. At number 2, we have the Hero of Time mod for The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. This is not really a ROM hack in the traditional sense. In fact, it probably can be considered not a ROM hack at all and more of a traditional cosmetic mod pack, but I still think this is worth mentioning. This mod does a full replacement for the model of Link in the game, letting you pick between his young and adult versions from Ocarina of Time. It also has voice packs for each version of Link, a super neat detail in my opinion. Of course, the models look great in both gameplay and cutscenes, and they don't just replace Link's character model. Each mod also changes his sword, shield, and the power glove and Titan's mitt. It also replaces a ton of other minor things to make the experience feel more complete, like changing his wall merge painting forms, replacing the fairies with Ocarina of Time fairies, replacing the Foul Fruit with a Deku Nut, replacing tunics, and so much more. This is a really solid mod for the game, and while it doesn't change any major story or gameplay beats, I really like how it transforms the game to look a lot like Ocarina of Time, and I'd say it's worth checking out. At number 3, we have Super Mario and the Crystal Crescents. This is a mod for New Super Mario Bros. 2 that adds 8 brand new levels with its own unique style, a custom world map, and brand new music for each level. Yeah, most mods for this game are just one world. I don't think that's a bad thing, but I'd really only consider these as hacks you play through once, given their lack of content. Anyways, I really like the level design here. The music is really good. The nighttime and almost Luigi's Mansion-like aesthetic is super cool, and it does add an extra bit of challenge to the levels as well. Speaking of Luigi's Mansion, the star coins here are replaced by Dark Moons based off the second game. A really nice touch. Overall, this hack is definitely worth giving a try. It is very short, but the levels and aesthetic here are great, and it's an overall solid experience. At number 4 we have Super Mario Cloudy Cliffs. I figure that since new Super Mario Bros. 2 hacks are usually very short, it was appropriate to mention another one if you're looking for some more custom levels. Similar to the Crystal Crescents, this hack adds 9 new levels, a custom world map, and custom music to fit. I really like the level designs and aesthetics of this one, and honestly I do prefer it over the previous hack. Just to throw some examples, 1-2 makes you backtrack the entire level to progress, collecting some of the star coins makes you shoot out of a cannon, and Ludwig is the boss of the first and only world. The music here is also ripped from multiple games, like Super Mario 3D World and Donkey Kong Country. I love how these small changes really make the experience feel more unique. This is a really solid hack overall, and for the time being I'd say is my personal favorite custom level pack for this game.
Made it!
At number 5 we have the Ultra Street Fighter 4 Balance mod. This is a small ROM hack for Super Street Fighter 4 3D that rebalances the game to match Ultra Street Fighter 4 for all the existing characters. The creator left an example on their release post, which is Ryu's Heavy Shoryuken now being a one-hit attack that cannot super cancel, as opposed to a two-hit attack that super cancels on the first hit. So, to try to show this visually, here's some footage of the rebalance hack, side by side with the vanilla version of the game. Now, I said this is a small ROM hack since there's plenty of things that haven't been added or changed, such as none of the Arcade or Ultra Edition newcomers being added, you can't select the addition of the characters, and there is no Ultra Combo Double, Delayed Wake Up, and health changes. All of these are not present due to limitations, so I wouldn't say these are deal breakers. Also, the touchscreen special moves for some characters do not work. The creator notes there isn't much that can be done in this regard, but honestly I barely use the touch controls in this game to begin with, so this isn't a big deal for me. Despite the limitations and minor issues with this hack, I think it's still definitely worth checking out, especially for the balance changes, which are of course the main highlight.
What a pain.
At number 6 and the final ROM hack for this video, we have the Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon Remake. This is a hack for Fire Emblem Fates that recreates the entirety of Shadow Dragon in the game's engine. This is a complete experience with all 25 chapters from the original game, and the 5 Gaiden chapters from the DS remake. Some major additions in this hack are recreating all the maps in 3D, new character models, character-specific promotions, and more. This is quite similar to the DS remake in a lot of ways, like the music being ripped straight out of it, and the portraits for a handful of characters. And this is where I mentioned my only real complaint with this hack, and that is the character art. It definitely takes a bit of getting used to, especially when it contrasts with Marth's character art from Fates. This is a nitpick and doesn't really mess with the gameplay experience, but it's just something I wanted to mention. This hack also requires the North American version of the special edition of Fates to work. Overall, I've really been loving this hack so far, so I'd say it's worth giving a try. So, checking out some homebrew ports, first we have Super Mario 64. I showcased this one in my first video covering 3DS ROM hacks, but I didn't quite word things properly, so I wanted to cover this again. This is a port of the game that runs at 60 FPS and widescreen, which is 5x3 on the 3DS, plus it supports the C-stick for camera controls, and the map sits on the bottom screen similar to how it is in Super Mario 64 DS. I really like this port, but it only runs properly on new 3DS models and isn't really playable on an old 3DS. It's also known as the MKST port, so if you're looking for it on a certain shop on your 3DS, that's the version you should look for. This is an overall solid way to play the game, and is definitely worth giving a try if you haven't yet.
Here we go!
Next up is the port of Sonic Mania. This is a port, of course, utilizing the RSDK V5D compilation for Mania, and it's pretty good. This, similar to Mario 64, only works properly on a new 3DS and requires a copy of the game on PC to get up and running. The full game is pretty much playable here, including bonus stages and extra modes. Performance here is a bit sluggish at times, so initial load times are a bit long, and the special stages are pretty much unplayable, but besides that, this is a solid port, and still a decent way to play this game. Next up, we have Pokémon Hitmonchan Boxing. This is a fan game that is on multiple platforms and also has a version for the new 3DS. This is a pretty simple but fun arcade boxing game where you play as Hitmonchan and just fight other Pokemon in the ring. It has a few modes to choose from, including a single player quick match, tournament, and boss rush. It also has a multiplayer mode, but I haven't tried this yet since I don't have an extra new 3DS lying around. But speaking on the general single player experience, the controls are quite simple, and the enemies are not very difficult. I played all 3 single player modes and it was pretty fun. This is an overall solid game, and I'd recommend it.
Hitmonchan!
The final homebrew game we have in this video is the port of Quake 2. So similar to the ports of Mario 64 and Sonic Mania, I played this on a new 3DS here and it felt very smooth. I didn't play a ton of the game yet, and I've honestly barely played Quake 2 at all, but from what I have played so far, it has been really great. You will also need the original game files from the PC version to get it up and running, similar to Sonic Mania as well. Controls here are not too bad. The C-stick and buttons act as camera controls by default, and the shoulder buttons act as your jump and firing buttons. This feels like a really solid port overall, and I'd say it's worth giving a try. Well, that's about all I have for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, and don't forget to join my Discord server linked in the description. As always, I'll be leaving links to where you could download each of these hacks yourselves, but keep in mind you'll have to provide your own copy of the games mentioned. Where you get them is up to you. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will see you all soon.